Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. So this is the DKN. Look at that. It's actually pretty clear. It's actually very clear. I love that beer. Very nice. It's interesting how it kind of changes over time. Well, I'm going to keep my yap pretty short here because I got a couple of footages to show you. First of which is going to be just a quick little test of my new water meter that I have. I hooked up all the pieces finally, got everything working correctly after a lot of issues I had with it, but it's all working great. I used it in today's brew day, and that's actually the second footage you're going to see is the brew day. So let me swing the camera real quick around here and show you some of the details from it. So here you go. This is basically the printout from Brew water that I used for the additions. The target profile that I was going for was 51 in calcium, 24 of sodium, low in magnesium, sulfate was 40, chloride I was going for 84. Now the water meter works in liters, not gallons. I converted the gallons over to liters for the mash and the sparge. And so here's some of the numbers I came up with. So I started off with a pH of 6.6 today. It's interesting how that changes occasionally when you're brewing from day to day. My mash pH actually came in at 5.16. We were actually aiming for 5.26. So we were a little off on that. So I ended up adding a quarter teaspoon or a gram of baking soda, and that brought me up to 5.22. So I was pretty happy with that range for the Munich Helles. The sparge pH, adding the lactic acid, I usually aim for 5.5, but for some reason it came in at 5.4. So I'm not sure why my numbers were 0.1 off today, but they were. So that ended up with pre-boil pH of 5.33, and then in post-boil was 5.2. Pre-boil OG gravity was 1040, and we ended up with 1052. So all in all, a good brew day. A couple of minor adjustments, but it ended up working out. So that's really it for this week. So enjoy the brew day footage and the water test footage. I'll go ahead and roll both of those now and enjoy. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this while you're watching that. So have a happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Cheers. All right. So finally, after a lot of struggle, I got this working correctly. This is coming in from outside. The in going into the filter. There's a ball valve here to control the flow, as well as just completely shutting off for safety. I have it set for halfway right now, and then all the components that come along with this meter. And I just right now have it going into a bucket just to kind of measure the output, make sure it's working correctly. And I have it currently set to 7.5, a little over 7.5 liters, which I know is 2 gallons. Turn it on. And away it goes. Filling up the bucket. Alright, 7.5. I like to turn this off just to be safe. And looking in here, right on the marker that's on the side of the bucket there, it is, I can't really see it too well, but is that, this one right here is 3, so the one right below that is 2. So it is at 2. And word to the wise, one of the frustrating things for me that I noticed, that I just wanted to pass along, when I mounted this all up, I realized that the flow wasn't working correctly. It wasn't shutting off, and it wasn't, you couldn't control the flow, and it's because apparently I knew this one was directional. There's an arrow on there You can't really see it, but on this one, I don't know if you could see that. Of course not. But this one too actually is directional, and that was the culprit. So I flipped both of them around, and it works perfectly fine. So just a little lesson for you guys: if you wind up putting these in backwards, it'll frustrate the hell out of you, because the meter will record correctly, and it'll shut off as it's, you know, up here it'll shut off, but down here it actually won't. It'll still be dripping the water through, because these directional pieces matter for the way that they're completely sealing up. So lessons learned, but finally got this all ready, and I put this quick disconnect on here. That way when I'm done I can just take off the garden hose and leave everything here attached, make it real easy. Eventually I'll have like I'll put an outlet in here, maybe make this a little bit more permanent, but for now I just sort of put the power back on the side there and just hooked it up with an extension cord just to test it out. But all good to go and ready for the next brew day. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. A little early for me to have a beer, so going for coffee. Getting ready to get on a brew day on this Wednesday in Munich Helles. So here we go. I've already put the mash water in, so now we need to get the sparge water into the other kettle. Go ahead and set this. Rolling her up. There we go. And I got my measuring stick here just to double check that meter was working correctly, and looks like it is, because we were supposed to collect a little bit more than 5 gallons, and we sure did. Mashing in at 149. Got that nice manifold working. Just started the mash. Now there's the mash pH is coming in at 5.16. It's a little low. I might see if I can adjust that. Alright, it looks like that did the trick. I wanted to aim for just slightly over 5.2, and that's what I got. So, just for the record, it was 5.15, added a quarter teaspoon, about a gram of baking soda. So it did bump up my salt a little bit, but not enough to make that much of a difference, and the pH is now 5.21, so call that a win. Well, it would seem we developed a slight leak. I just turned off the pumps because I'm getting ready to sparge. I just wanted to point that out. I guess I'll be re-Teflon taping that one. And now we're sparging. I think I got the flow rate set right. Got an inch or so over the grain bed of water. And just slowly trickling into the boil kettle. Alright, we're at a boil now, so the one and only hop addition. 1.5 ounces of Hallertau. I had to remember what it was for a second. There you go. Alright, 15 minutes to go. Yeast nutrient and oral flock tablet. Alright, now we got the whirlpool going. I also started cleaning, of course, so the mash tun is just full of OxyClean. Gotta scrub it still. Hot liquor tank right now is just got star sand in it, so I've just been starting to get a head start on cleaning stuff out here. I got the star sand going through the chiller just to be safe. Every time I've done this, I've been putting the hops through it, I guess, because I've been adding it into the whirlpool cycle. This time I decided to try to minimize the hop going through the chiller, so I just have the whirlpool going straight through the pump. So hopefully that'll make a difference. We shall see. But the star sand I put through the chiller just to make sure that was sanitized. Usually I would do the hot wort through there to keep it sanitized, but we'll see if this keeps things out of the chiller. Alright, chilling it down. Going into the fermenter. And I also took a gravity reading, and it looks like I could never get the camera to focus on this, but it was coming in at 1052, looks like. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got out of the refractometer. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Going into the fermenter at 72. Unfortunately, it's warm here today, and that's what that cranked down about. It's gone down to a quarter or a third probably. So we'll just have to deal with that. Now this does require a 50-degree fermentation. So we got this rolling here. It's coming down to temp right now. So yeah, we'll might wait a little bit to pitch the yeast, but stick it in there, let it cool down a bit first, and then go ahead and put that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up here, and that's it for the brew day. And for the fun of it, the post-boil pH. The hop cone this time was a little bit more spread out. Interesting. But not too shabby. I don't think much got in the wort chiller because there's not a whole lot there. Just a little bit. So, yeah.